step-by-step approach, but again, it's not,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell her
Yeah.
what to do. If she wants to try to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe she gets
Laura.
3,000 signatures.
We're live. Okay. Good afternoon. It is Thursday, August the 14th. It's 4 o'clock, and I'm calling the Environmental Advisory Committee to order. And we want to acknowledge that the press and the public were duly notified of the meeting in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act. Our first order of business would be to approve the previous meeting's minutes. Did everyone, well, actually, we should do a roll call.
That's all right, I've got you.
And make sure that.
You have a quorum,
We
you're
have
fine.
a quorum, okay,
Yes.
all right. Hi, Todd. Okay, so we have a quorum. And so now we're working on approval of the previous meeting's minutes. Were there any changes or addendums?
I didn't see anything.
Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve them?
I make a motion to approve the prior meeting's minutes.
Okay, and a second?
And I second.
All right. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Great. Okay. Next up will be citizens' comments, and we have the Isla Mujeres.
And, well, Ms. Chalmers actually signed up first.
What?
Ms. Chalmers signed up
Oh, Ms.
first.
Chalmers, okay. Ms. Chalmers first, then.
Bring my iPad up because I sent an email, but you guys probably didn't get it. I sent it to council members, so I'm going to.
Please make sure you speak into the
Can you,
mic.
yeah, speak into the mic. Thank you.
Oh, okay, so I got to just talk loud.
Talk loud. Or you can come up to the
Yeah,
table
she
if you'd
can
like to
sit
get
up
one of these
here.
mics,
Yeah, come sit up here.
Here?
Come sit up here.
Oh,
so we can record it.
now. Okay. So the topic I'm coming about is the trial of the trash cans on the 25th Beach Access and their location. The email that I wrote is, I'm writing to share my observations about the recent placement of the black trash cans at the ocean end of the 25th Beach Access. Living nearby, I've seen a clear and concerning impact on the surrounding dunes and the beach grasses. Since the placement of the black cans at this location, I've observed a sharp increase in people walking into and on the dunes, often to dispose of trash, store clothes, change clothes, or even use the area as a bathroom. Discarded items like broken chairs, umbrellas, tents are now being left directly on the dunes, damaging the fragile grasses that protect our shoreline. I learned that there's discussion of building a corral for broken items at the ocean side. This will only magnify the problem, inviting more foot traffic, giving the coyotes, which have historically lived in these dunes, a perfect hiding spot. That creates not only an environmental harm, but also a safety risk for residents, visitors, and pets. I strongly recommend placing any structures on the street side away from the dunes to prevent harm. I've documented these changes over several months and have attached a few photos here. I'm happy to provide a full set to anyone who's interested. And I feel like I understand everyone's trying to get the trash cans and the yellow truck that goes up and down the beach to go away, and I think that's great. But having those trash cans in that top of the dune area right there is just killing those grasses. So the trash can either has to move one single one on the beach side where there's no grasses under it or around it, or it should go back to the other side onto where there's stable grass, which is, after the golf cart turnaround or whatever. So that's my statement.
Do you have pictures? Did you?
Yes,
you get
I
this?
have an email.
You can
Yeah,
share
I
that.
I could
Okay.
forward her email.
And I have
Okay.
a series of pictures. I just showed one in the beginning and one in the end, and you'll see, and it's, just stuff tossed everywhere, and then, they have to go out and pick up all the stuff, and the manual process of going over and driving over and people walking and walking behind the trash cans is just trampling all that. And then also there's trash when people are putting it in, instead it's blowing then into the dunes because it's the highest point.
Okay, okay.
So is it a matter of placement then? I mean, is that more of the issue?
I think it's a matter of placement. I think it's also the number. I think if you have one trash can there and you put it, like I said, where we usually have them, which is out on the beach with a lid, where there's no grasses around it, or if you move it further back past the actual
Dune.
crest and dune and grasses, then I think it's fine. But the fact of having two and having them there is the problem. And putting any kind of structure or anything there, I think on any of the beach accesses, especially that one, because there's been a lot of coyote activity. It's also very busy, so I think any structure should be closer to the street side, nothing down by because the coyotes go and will set up under anything and when they're mating and down there.
What was the configuration?
So, I'm sorry, Ms. Levens, to interrupt. Usually with citizens' comments, there's not meant to be a back and forth or that
Okay,
sort of thing.
all right, okay.
That's okay. Her 3 minutes are more than up, but it's not
Okay,
meant to be a back
all
and
right,
forth.
great, thank you. Okay,
And Nicole can circulate.
I'm sending it right now.
With the pictures.
Okay.
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Okay.
Ms.
If you want more pictures, just let me know.
I'm forwarding your email from you to the city council. And now it's Ms. Smith and,
Okay. And now we
What
can
she's
do the Isla Mujeres presentation. And we have a 5-minute, and Nicole will help keep time so that
that's right. If she
we
wants to
stay
stick
on
the
target.
microphone, that's the best way to
Okay?
do that.
Okay, sit down because the microphone is here, okay?
Hi, everyone. Thank
Hi.
you for allowing us to speak. The Mujeres Latinas is proposing what they call a wave of change, and it includes these bins that you see on the side there, where the 2 bins on this side would be free to anyone to pick up who's walking the beach, who wants to pick up garbage, and just would turn it into the bins that are set up for the garbage before they put it back. And the other bin is to collect used toys or put toys that parents no longer want to cart back and forth home so that other kids can use them when they come. The idea behind it is to engage the families and the youth in knowing how to reuse, recycle, and keep their beaches clean. So it's enforcing something that they're calling eco-play, which, reused toys can be used again at the beach. They're most of the time are plastic, so they don't really go bad that fast until somebody destroys them. And the buckets encourage them to clean up after themselves and help maintain the beaches, not just to the kids, but to the adults who can lead the way for the kids to learn these things. It'll reduce plastic and litter on the beach, and we will have someone who comes out once a week to check them and make sure that anything that's garbage can be disposed of and anything that's good be kept in there. And hopefully get some help from the actual people who work at the beach sites and things like that to help maintain these bins. Any questions? ¿Ustedes quieren que le diga otra cosa, algo más?
Okay.
Can I get your name for the record? I'm sorry.
I'm going to spell it for you to make it easy.
Perfect.
It's Haydee,
Okay.
and my last name is Irizarry.
R-I,
No, Irizarry.
I-R-I. Gotcha. Thank
So
you.
it's Haydee Irizarry.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So can I ask a question?
Since this is technically a presentation, yes.
Yeah.
So what major beach access paths are you proposing that these items be placed at?
Miriam. No, las dos vengan.
Okay.
¿En qué lugares ustedes quieren poner esto?
En los accesos. Yeah, Chilegas.
I actually had some suggestions at the end on the second page of my handout, but we haven't really discussed it.
Reach Inlet.
I know the idea is that hopefully between the city and Mujeres Latinas to find 4 locations that might be a start to
4.
see how it goes, to try it out. And if it's a success, maybe in the future add a few more. It would be for the season. So the toy box would be for the beach season, and then the trash bins would stay permanently. During the season, they would be screwed together so nothing flies away. They're heavy enough that they will hold down. But after the technical beach season is over, the idea is to remove the toy box and just leave the garbage buckets so that people that are walking the beach with their dogs or with their kids can just take a bucket and maybe clean up a bit and then drop it at the next site if they're not coming back to the same place.
And I had read in your, in part of your presentation that there would be the ability, if storms are coming up, that your people would be able to go out and remove them from the beach so that we wouldn't have stuff
Yes,
below.
that
Yes,
is the
yes,
idea. Yes.
Yes, okay, all right.
Douglas, did we have a recommendations matrix item that was around some sort of trash pickup facilitation for beachgoers. It seems like I remembered
Yeah.
that. Or Eric, do you remember seeing something like that?
Yes.
I can look.
It seems familiar, like, not this specific idea, but the
Yep.
concept was in the matrix, I thought.
I have it in this handout, which
Yeah.
I included the task force recommendations that pertain.
Yeah, recruit volunteer neighborhood captains for regular pickups, cleanups. In addition to existing front beach setup, explore adding following the high-traffic beach access with a placement closer to the, so this is clean up bucket trees. That's number,
Yeah.
I don't, the number's got shrunk, but yes, it is. It is.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any other specific questions about it? Would we need to,
I guess a comment, I mean, as the point was made earlier, we have kind of embarked in an intentional effort to get these things off of the beach. So in this photo, the plan is for these cans to go off of the beach
Okay,
and to be, I think strategically placed
at the
behind the
entrance?
dune
Yeah,
at maybe 5 or 6 of the higher traffic. This would still be at the front beach area, correct? On the beach barrels?
So those will be closer to the boardwalk on Front Beach. Barrels will not be on there. The black cans will be closer to the boardwalk. So I do believe that those are going anywhere. They would have to be somewhere over the dune line, towards street side, just for the concern of,
so yes,
So those cans would be near the beach, they just won't be,
and that's
out on
fine.
the
The
beach.
bins are meant to be near the garbage
Yeah.
cans, so that it's an
As
easy
long as it's near
disposal
the
and put it
garbage.
back.
yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
So that would be.
and that's
an
actually
adjustment.
perfect because people can see it on the way in. So I think that that would be perfect.
Any issue, the other point is those cans are planned to be in a corral,
Which
kind of a
kind?
hiding,
we have, it's our new trash
Okay,
kind of
configuration
screened-
that we're working on. We,
screened from view a bit
okay,
with a kind of we call it a corral, just kind of a timber shield. But I think that it could be done so that these could go in the corral.
well, I think that if these are hidden, it would kind of take away from the kids seeing it to want to participate, because that's why the idea of the color, especially for younger children, because the color calls their attention. Hey, mommy, what's that? You know, and but there could be a sign on this that says, please dispose of the garbage in the corrals next door and the bins in the corral next door. But the idea of the colorfulness of it is to attract, and if it's in the corral, then people will think it's a garbage disposal as well. And it might deter from the actual, purpose.
I had a question. The buckets in this display are not secured. What keeps them from blowing out and down the beach when we have high winds?
Poniéndole un gancho adentro. The idea is to put like a hook on the top that can hold the handle,
Okay.
and they can just unhook it and take it. It's like a demo for right now, but
okay,
Thank you.
yeah. And again, both boxes would be secured together until the toy season is over, and then we would remove the toy bin.
so when you say season, so we would be starting like Memorial Day to Labor Day?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Which is the high traffic season of
Right,
the beach
exactly, exactly, okay.
here. When I don't want to go, but that's okay. Everybody else does.
Okay.
Ms. Levens, that has been 5 minutes. Did you want to move this to another agenda, or what would you like to do with this?
Yeah, I would like to move this to an actual agenda item
In September,
for September, yeah, so we can,
talk it through.
yeah, purposefully take up the subject and make some decisions. And we really appreciate you coming
Thank you.
to give us this much information. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us and letting
Yeah.
us present it.
All right, gracias.
Well, we appreciate what you're doing. too.
Yeah, it's,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks. And then Linda is also here to talk from the aquarium. I had shared that we thought it would be okay for her and I to also be in citizens'
Can we do
comments.
a 2-minute citizens comment?
If you'd like, I will keep the
Yeah,
track of
we'll
2
do a
minutes. Yep.
2-minute citizens comment then. Yeah. And then we have to move on.
Hello.
Hi.
2 minutes for me or
Yeah.
both of us together? Okay.
Well, yeah, technically for the two of, if, are you gonna?
Oh, I mean, we were supposed to be on the agenda, so Linda came here. If I
I'll be
don't
quick.
need to, I can come back.
Okay, all right, so Linda,
Linda's
2 minutes for you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. Hi, I'm Linda Rowe from the South Carolina Aquarium. I will keep it brief. In regards to the toy boxes used on beaches, I can speak from a little bit of experience. We have a volunteer who is very actively engaged in the environmental community on Folly Beach. She is one of our volunteers, but she's also a member of the Turtle Team, and she has also installed toy boxes at that beach, and they've been in place for about 2 to 3 years. And I asked her before coming to this meeting what her recommendations or what her take has been on the situation, and she overall has said that the residents have given her very positive feedback about the toy bins being there. They like that they're there as an option for people to use, and they also they have generally she is a resident and she's gotten feedback from residents, but she did say that there have been some issues. They do get trash left in the bins. Sometimes they do have broken toys left in the bins that people don't remove. And they do sometimes have just random things. Maybe they're found items and people don't know where to put them, so they stick them in a bin so somebody sees and finds them. So even that said, that means to her, she says, that means we just have to be careful about maintenance and we have to take the time to do that. The ladies here and Susan, I know, already have mentioned a plan for having people do that, and as long as that's a consideration, I think you guys are in a great place to keep up with that if in the events that you vote for it. She did mention they have had some storm damage on a couple of the bins, so that's another consideration, upkeep and oversight of the bins and also securing the toys, but I just heard that there's already a plan in place for doing that as well. So I think that this proposal is really well thought out, and you'll have a lot to discuss when you make it an agenda item. As far as the bucket stands, I have bucket trees in my head, so pardon me if I say bucket trees. But as far as the bucket trees go, as you all know, this aquarium has been partnering with Isle of Palms cleanup crew for the past 8 years now, and doing a lot of litter data collection. And we think, and I hope you all agree, that having that robust data set has been useful over the years, looking at trends, seeing what the problem hotspot items might be or hotspot areas, we would just encourage you to, if you find that there is value in having litter data being gathered and want to maybe keep encouraging the use of litter data with these litter bucket stands, the aquarium would be happy to support working together with Susan and other folks of the Mujeres Latinas community to come up with a plan on how that could be made easier going forward. I don't envision that everybody who picks up a bucket is going to enter data, but there may be a way that we can make it a little bit easier and less of an obstacle, so that if, for example, there are captains at certain locations along the beach, they could somehow facilitate that process. I think it's important. I just want to bring that up to you to get you all thinking about how important you think that's going to be going forward. And also, let's see, what are my notes? Whether or not the city would be willing to put some signage associated with that and help make that happen. It would be something to consider.
Great.
I think that's all I have to say for my 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I can just pop in for just a second to.
Okay, 1 minute. Yep.
Yeah, I'll do it in less.
I'll come back for the September conversation, but did provide this is a history of what's going on with the current toy bin at Front Beach and Bucket Tree, which is part of a the Bucket Tree is part of a branded concept that a realtor brought and installed. So there's information there. There's information within this handout about the task force recommendations, as we discussed. with the specific language that the task force used when recommending exploration of these concepts, expanding these concepts. And the Other Palms cleanup crew can also be a backup in monitoring the stands and the toy bins to make sure that they don't become garbage collectors. There was that recommendation as well from the task force about having litter captains or neighborhood captains for monitoring the beach, that I would envision they could also be another set of eyes to help, take care of these bins. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So we'll move on to old business, and we're going to start with our recommendations matrix so that we can
Yeah.
get some traction on that.
All right. So to recap, what we've done over the last couple meetings is kind of sort prioritize the recommendations to let's see here, about 2019 that were kind of agreed upon to be both cost effective, not super resource intensive on the capital side, and then also just being something that we can implement in the short term. So kind of low cost, short term impact, short term completion, and that's how we got to the kind of the top 20. I think probably the easiest thing to do is to just go through them since we have some time. How much time do you want to spend on this?
We're going to go to, let's go to 440.
440?
Okay.
Yeah, since we took some extra time.
Yep. So we'll
Eric,
just.
is the
So
top,
that gives us about 20 minutes.
is the top 20, is it just blended in, or is it like, I don't see numbers anywhere?
So I guess I'm wondering too, is Eric's matrix the same as the matrix that's in the packet? Do we know?
It's the one that I sent. It's the one
was
that I
the
sent.
updated one.
That's not that. It's the one I sent you at the end of. The
This is what
meeting.
Amy has on the screen, so she can follow what you're doing and change it as it's being done.
I pulled yours from there and put it on here, some of your comments.
Do you have a? Do you have a? We're
But-
not operating on the same.
Well, what she's gonna do, you're not gonna be operating on the same thing. What you guys have in front of you, she can track it by number, right? The recommendation numbers, so that she's making the changes that need to be, like, that you all decide to make. She's gotta track it on her sheet. This is her sheet that's on the screen.
Got
It
Your
might-
sheet, what you guys are looking at is fine, but it's not gonna be the same thing.
This
It
is-
might be easier to put Eric's screen.
I think so.
The PDF does not have, like, the numbers disappear on the recommendation numbers in the PDF as you go down into
Yeah.
the 3 digits, so we're not gonna be able to even know.
Yeah,
think-
in order
I
for
think
Amy
that
to
will-
keep track of
No, I
what you
get
guys are
it.
doing, she's gotta be able to do it on that.
I
Well, I
get it.
can just send send this again at the end of the meeting.
So you said it, but there was also some things that you reworded that weren't the same in the recommendations that I was having a hard time.
I didn't reword any of the initiatives. I did add a status column and a next step, but I didn't touch the.
Okay.
Part of the knitting it back together was the number.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in your data set?
It's not.
No.
'Cause part of this is trying to, this is one massive matrix that each committee is working on separately and
Here's what the recommendation number.
Got it.
yep.
Okay.
But we can, why don't we, for today, work on from Eric's?
Okay.
Eric, can you put his laptop?
She's got it. She's got it in her email, right?
Oh, you've got it.
Oh, she's got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's just trying to keep her one
Okay.
document updated.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
that's-
didn't realize there was. Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of have
that's,
the master.
that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
That's what we've been working with.
All right.
All right.
So I can figure out how to add the numbers in, but I'll have to play with a pivot table. It's probably not the best use of this meeting's time. All right. So Doug, we'll just go down the list. Did you have a chance to talk to the rec center about doing an
Yes.
Earth Day?
That is on their calendar
Okay. For when?
For when?
for Earth Day
2026?
Yep. 2026.
So if I
It
recall,
may be. Is it on a weekend?
I don't
It might have been the weekend.
I don't think so. It's very close to Easter, which is also another obviously big big event, let's see, Earth Day 2026 is, so Wednesday, April 22nd. So, let's see here.
That's when Earth Day is, or that's when Easter?
That's Earth Day, Wednesday, April 22nd. And then Easter is the 5th.
Yeah.
So it'd be like 3 weeks after Easter.
I know Carrie had this question, and she scheduled what she felt was best.
Okay.
And it's either on the day or it's in conjunction with an Easter. It's very close to the day.
Okay, all right.
But
So,
yeah, she does have that on the 2026 calendar.
okay, can we get the date?
Yes.
Okay, so, and then Doug. So we'll get the, so it's on the calendar. Doug can get the date from Carrie, because I don't think she would publish that. I don't even think Halloween's up there yet, so, okay, cool. So the status, I mean, it's probably,
We can
probably
close
say,
it.
change it to, well, we probably have to plan it.
Well, yeah,
So
we have to plan
maybe-
it, but as
Maybe
far
mark
as.
it to ongoing.
Mhm.
So now
Yeah.
that we have an actual event, we can spend some time next year probably in kind of figuring out,
What we're gonna do.
what do we want to do? Is there, how much budget is there? Who do we invite? And so on and so forth. Cool. The next one, adjust packaging ordinance. Let's see here. Review green group report card, Doug to send out. Consider business engagement to reduce packaging concerns.
That was with the straws.
Yes, yep, and I have had dialogue with the Chamber of Commerce. They have indicated that they have canvassed their restaurant members and that they're gonna get that feedback back to us. I thought prior to this meeting, but I don't have it yet. But that is forthcoming.
So they were gonna canvass the businesses with regards to
So there was
not, or encouraging people not to use straws, was that?
It was,
That the
the request was either to be on request, like just say straws are not handed out unless requested,
Okay.
or there was one other method. Susan, maybe do you recall what the, there was kind of a
Or
choice,
just to, I mean.
or just go to
the-
paper straws maybe?
Yeah, the conundrum was that there's kind of probably marketing of plastic straws that are, they say are recyclable,
That are not.
not really being recycled. I think that's the issue that, so most of, I don't believe they're supposed to be using plastic straws, but it seems anecdotally like everybody is using them. So the question to the businesses would be, why aren't you following, what challenges are you running into?
Okay.
Why you're not following this, and how could we get to a place where you're just doing straws on request at least?
Okay. Well, we'll see what the chamber says, so we can change that status to ongoing, since
Yeah.
there's now an actual initiative on that front. Where are we at on the, I guess the next one's the water quality assessment?
I have the final report that that'll be next on the agenda after we finish with the matrix.
Okay, cool.
The rest of the matrix.
So the resilient strategies, Doug, I saw your email with all the context. Seems to just be kind of sea level rise and more than anything else. And global warming and that kind of thing seem to be kind of the main thrust of the.
Can you read that? It's off the screen. Oh.
It's develop a public education program on resilient strategies.
And I don't believe that came out of our task force.
I'm not sure what we're supposed to do with that. Develop a public education program on resilient strategies. It's so vague. I'm not sure what the end game is there.
I mean.
That was our concern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the concern.
Yeah.
So, I mean, here's an example of something that I did for the, I mean, it's eco-friendly, resilience. And I had this,
this was.
That's from Seaman Whitesides.
I had this at the farmer's market.
That's good.
Yeah, so is that what we're talking about? What can you do, sort of act locally?
So I'll just read you what Susan and I had a conversation earlier this week, and I'll just read you what she typed up. This item is worded, seems paraphrased from the task force recommendations, or may have come from the strategic plan. And the task force recommendation under the leadership priority goal 4, with planning, commission, leadership, and involvement of the EAC, develop a unified plan for resiliency and adaptation. The recommendation under the goals are advanced recommendations from city developing sea level rise adaptation plan, model, map, and monitor areas most susceptible to sea level rise, flooding, and storm surges, predict social and economic impacts, explore recommendations for zoning, et cetera. And I'm kind of paraphrasing this point. Determine and articulate long-term goals for adaptation plan that are proactive and transparent. So where are we what's the cadence for the sea level rise adaptation plan? And what,
Yeah,
is there meetings on that? Is there?
Yeah, well, there's a handful of projects that are also part of this matrix. We're very active on this flood barrier on the backside of the island. It's kind of monopolizing most of our time at City Hall at this point. So there are a handful of key big projects that are underway, long range plans that are on the drawing board. I don't know what we would do other than just continue to kind of.
How do we, so I didn't even really know that until joining this committee that we even had that plan, and it was so significant. How do we educate the public? Because if we already have that plan, which is, very long-term and very substantive. Is there a component to kind of give the community updates on what we're doing? Like that flood thing you just referenced, I'd never heard of it. And so perhaps one thing we could do is one component of that giant plan is to just, provide quarterly updates or something to, by a newsletter or something so that people are aware of what we're doing.
Well, and
unless if that already exists, then perhaps we can mark this as complete. I don't.
So I was kind of interpreting it differently. There's this big plan with these big ticket items like building a berm on the back of the island and whatever the drainage could be considered that with the floodgates. What about the individual property owners? What could they do? And I think that's sort of what Laura was showing.
I was thinking it was more of an individual.
Because we could educate people on how a rain garden helps alleviate flooding across the island by having a rain garden in your yard. Things like that could be, educational and opportunities for people to contribute by doing things on their own property. Small things, but they add up.
It could be both. Again, I think that it sounds like the spirit of whoever wrote this was they want, public education about resilient strategies, and it could be that an individual homeowner can take. It can be what the city's doing, which, if for me if I'm like wanting to consume things about resilient strategies on the island, just personally, I would be most interested in this big ticket stuff because that's going to have a big impact. Building things on the backside of the island, but it could be both. And they could both be communicated in the same way. It could be a newsletter but how are we giving the public updates on these projects?
So, and I'm probably the worst one to ask this because I'm so close to it. This is, for me, it's at every meeting. It's now kind of, it will have been 4 hours of public meetings this month alone, kind of talking about the bidding, getting the pricing back. I think there's a web page dedicated to it on the city's website. I think it's been in a newsletter. I could verify that.
The e-newsletter, I get that, and it does have, because I was just looking at the August issue, and there was ongoing beach restoration, kind of an update. The sidewalk improvements were listed in there. You know, so there are, and I've seen, I thought, updates on the back of the island development,
Yeah.
or the floodgates. I remember specifically that being in one of the e-newsletters. But it maybe doesn't capture all of this. Maybe it's just sort of pieces of it.
I guess I would say that it asks the question, what is the correct, like, how do you, is it too much you can almost watch every meeting and get it all, but you're then dedicating 10 hours a week, 10 hours a month of your life to following it all.
They could read my scintillating minutes.
I do, I mean, I
You
kind
read
of,
the minutes, you get the
Yeah.
newsletter, I don't think Sunny has ever, but that may be, I don't know what the best way to just, if you wanted to get stuff out, it seems like it's almost so much that it becomes kind of white noise and people just tune
Yeah.
out to some extent.
Well,
So
there's
this,
a webpage. I mean, we should, yeah,
I was thinking maybe a sort of a State of the Union, maybe it's not quarterly, maybe it's twice a year, even once a year, but sort of a State of the Union on what are all the big things we're doing around sea level rise, and then that could be, it could be a presentation that's then replicated on a web page, and it's presented in the e-newsletter, and then it's published in both newspapers. You could kind of really blast that 2-page summary of here's all the projects that we're working on and what's going on. 'Cause
so kind of a sea level rise
Yeah.
update solely,
Mhm.
and then put that in the newsletter.
If we think this problem is going to come at us for the next 25 years, what are we doing and how are we progressing each year
Mhm.
towards that,
The EAC has kind of done that, like this year, these were our priorities, these were
Mm-hmm.
these.
Yeah,
were the-
like when I did my update
Yeah.
on everything, and
Kind of
I would hope,
quarterly.
I would hope to be able to do that quarterly with council to give them to show them, okay, and here's what, beyond what I talked about before, and here's some of the new initiatives, and here's progress that we've made, or what we're still working towards.
Mhm.
And do that on a quarterly basis, something like that the city would do as well for the residents.
There is a website. View the city's sea level rise adaptation plan. You click the link though, and it says the requested page could not be found. So if since there's already infrastructure built around it, we could just update the webpage periodically. I mean, could put out a newsletter. I mean, it sounds like big updates are already coming into the newsletter
Yeah.
anyway. If we have a website, we can make sure the website works, which it doesn't right now. And then
Well,
just,
And with the electronic newsletter, can we include a link that goes to that
Yeah,
website?
exactly.
so, time flies. Oh, we have to turn that-
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we explore how to leverage existing online resources focused on the sea level rise adaptation plan to provide updates to the public. And then if you guys, if we want to also have that's kind of one bucket, and then the other bucket could be any number of things that, go into educating private citizens on what they can do.
But how would we be apprised of what's occurring or being developed?
You'd have to go on the website.
Which that's
I
kind
think
of a
is-
challenge of
And I think
everything
that's-
we do, is like, how do you?
I think if the city
Serve it
has
up.
has a web page on it, I mean, and that's actually being updated. I mean, is there a social media? Does Isle of Palms have like social media?
We definitely have
Twitter. There's Twitter,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes.
I mean, you could
Facebook.
when there's updates, you could put out a tweet.
But who's putting those updates out?
Yeah, but who's putting-
Chandra.
Chandra is?
Yeah,
So
Chandra's
she maintains the website. Who's the keeper of the Sea Rise adaptation? Like the plan, somebody.
Adaptation.
Yeah, who owns it?
Sea level rise.
Yeah, who's it assigned to? Like your job is from now on, or one of your jobs is to keep an eye on these things. Is there somebody on the city staff that does that, or?
Not really. I mean, there is a position in the budget to hire a resilience officer.
Okay, so
that would be,
eventually,
And I will say
Like
right
Sullivan's
now.
Island has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
This project, so I would assume that this kind of major project is gonna happen in the next 18 months. Probably after that, the other things will be much slower to happen. So
Yeah.
I think that a lot will happen in 18 months, and then I would predict that it'll be very slow and kind of evolutionary.
Okay.
Not, did it just work? Did I just see it pull
That's
up?
what I have on the website, and then you click on it and it goes through this.
Oh, it didn't work for me. What did you click on?
I went and searched sea level rise and then clicked on,
Oh, so I'm on a different,
right here.
I'm on a different,
Different page?
a different page.
It may just be a link from somewhere else. that's
Miss
not
Levens,
working.
it's 441. For your
Okay.
reference.
Okay,
All
well,
right.
maybe I marked it on, at least on my sheet, it's ongoing and just says we'll explore using the website on how to promote and provide updates on progress on that. Explore how to use the website to promote and educate sea level rise adaptation plan. And then we can pick this back up to see if we want to do kind of private homeowner stuff too.
It happens to be in the planning commission's matrix. Now, kind of talking about it, probably should have been coupled together, but the idea of a low-impact development pilot program was also out of this plan. That's also in our matrix. So that would be another one that would be kind of tied to this or this initiative that we could, that would be the other kind of tangible thing that the city could do. Tell people about what they could do on their private property. Kind of similar to what we did with the garden. Kind of an example of, hey,
Yeah,
this is
and-
how you do it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, what I can do is, we can move to, I'll give my water quality testing update so that we can hopefully make a final vote on this to move it forward. And then it shouldn't take that much time, and we could potentially loop back. I could make a motion to go ahead and loop back to the matrix and go through a couple more items today before we finish.
Did you want to do the farmer's market table as well? That was on the
Yeah,
agenda.
and that'll be really, really quick. I'm just gonna, okay. So if y'all are okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward with the water quality testing information. Okay, so James Riddle provided a scope of work to both me and Douglas with regards to the plan. And we are going to be getting 6 Fluidian test tubes. And the Fluidian is the rapid test to determine if there is any measurable amount of bacteria. And we're specifically going to be looking at E. coli. It also has an antigen that can potentially be used for the next level, which is the Lumen Ultra, which is for the DNA testing. And so we would be using 3 of the 6 test tubes in the 3 designated water outfall areas. And then, as I mentioned, they're going to have a preservation kit from Lumen Ultra for the potential future analysis of the species DNA. So the initial test, if the concentrations are high enough to move forward with the MST testing, we can wait to use the final 3 Fluidian test tubes for a second test, okay? So this initial scenario for the 2 Fluidian tests would be a total of $4,150. And that includes the labor for Wolpert to come out to IOP and coordinate with the city on accessing each outfall area and getting the samples back to do the analysis with Fluidian. If the initial round does show high enough levels of bacteria, we can move forward with the MST testing for those 3 samples. And the MST lab work is $135 per species per sample. So he's recommending that we at least do dog, human, and deer, because those are the 3 species that would be most commonly found on the island. And the cost for the 3 outfall areas for those 3 DNA samples would be $1,315. So if we did the first fluidian test and it came back with high enough bacteria levels, we could move forward for another $1,315 and do the Lumen Ultra testing. We would still have the second set of fluidian test tubes, this second set of 3 that we could do again in another 60 to 75 days. By doing the E. coli bacteria, it has a longer shelf life. So we could go back within 60 to 70 days and do another fluidian test, and if there are high enough bacterial levels again, we could do another MST test for another $1,315 and start to build a track of what we're finding. If the fluidian comes back for both the first 3 test tubes and the second 3 test tubes with not enough, high enough levels of bacteria, the total cost is the $4,150. If we do both, if we do the fluidian testing, the two, which is the $4,150, and are able to do 2 MST testings, our total would be $6,780. And that would give us 2 tracks on what kind of DNA we're finding and start to build a history of, or a story of, are we getting human or are we not? Are we getting deer and are we getting more deer than human? And start to answer the question that was left unanswered 20 years ago as to whether or not the DNA was showing it was more dog than anything else.
But again, we would only do the DNA if the levels
If the bacterial levels are high enough,
to
right?
warrant that.
So if we just do the 2 fluidian tests, again, 3 test tubes, 1 time, and then wait and it comes back not enough, we could go back again another 60 to 70 days. The final 3 test tubes would still be viable. We could go back again and do a second fluidian test. And if that one still shows we don't have enough bacterial levels, then maybe we wait until next year to do more testing. But if we do get, even if it's the second fluidian sample that comes back with high enough bacteria, then we could do the Lumen Ultra DNA testing, and that would be $1,315. So it's either a flat $4,150 if we don't have enough bacteria for both of the fluidian tests, or it could be $4,150 plus the $1,315 for the 1 DNA test, or it could be a second DNA test, and it would be a total then of $6,780.
That's the ceiling.
That's the ceiling for the 2 tests, yes.
So Laura, we spend the $4,500 to do the first test, and if it comes back and the bacterial levels are very low, we don't spend any more money, but
Correct.
What does that tell us at that point?
We have the ability to go back and do the second test, still within the $4,150, and see if there are high enough bacteria levels, and if there aren't, then
You don't have an issue.
we don't have an issue.
That's where I was going. It's sort of a definitive answer at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah, we don't have an issue. But we've specifically picked, we ruled out the outfall by Harris Teeter because we didn't feel there wouldn't be necessarily E. coli septic systems
tied up
in
to
that
drainage
area.
system.
It doesn't need to be after rain events.
No, it does not. This particular testing can be done in a dry, and actually he recommends a dry period. So we have a lot of flexibility with this.
Is there, $6,700, is that, can we just do it, or is there some sort
We
of?
can, this group, at that point, at that level, this group can just authorize that and we can do it. there is there's a certain amount allocated to this already in the budget, and this is within that budget. It's either $10,000 or $15,000 total for the year,
I
so.
thought it was 10, but
Yeah.
if we do
So-
this, we
Seems like such a hot button issue that has major ramifications for so many other things that it's worth it. I mean, the septic and sewer debate is a, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
top issue in your mind,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if you could put it to bed, if we could put it to bed, say, hey, look, we did this, and it's just no. not that
Or-
much coli. Or, yeah, I mean,
Or the other,
Or- find out
or
one
we
way or
are
the other.
starting to build a story that there is an issue, and
Correct.
we could move forward next year with even more testing, same type of thing, you know? It would be another, we would do the Fluidian first and go forward if, and we could potentially either go back to the same outfalls, or we could maybe pick two new ones and see.
And the reason we would do the test, you're saying sort of build a baseline, you're calling it a
Yes.
story, but it's historical account of how much we're measuring, so we can see if there's a trend where it's going up.
Right.
Or going down, potentially.
Or
based on-
flat, or flat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And show that we're being good stewards.
Right, maybe some of the programs or initiatives we've undertaken are making the number go down, you know? People are taking better care of their
Yeah, could be.
septic tanks or
It definitely
whatever.
could be.
So-
So, and, you know, the fact that, you know, they will coordinate with the city, they will make sure, you know, they'll pick the appropriate days when everything
Yeah.
can be coordinated properly, they'll come out, they'll get everything shipped off. We'll know within 24 hours with the Fluidian test if there is enough bacteria to move forward.
Yeah. I agree with Eric, I think it makes sense, just
Okay?
put this issue to bed one way or the other.
Man, I would just,
Favor of it.
to kind of go back to 20 years ago, it was a similar process, and it was, the initial test showed high levels, and that's similar to what we've had. We did an initial test, it showed high levels. It was in that second level of testing that showed back then that it was, and I can't remember the percentage, but it was almost just like 90% animal. So we would have that to compare it against, and I think that's still a question that we have. Is it?
Exactly.
Today, is it still 90, we know the levels are high, I think, from our prior testing. but
Yes.
Is it almost all animal and wouldn't be significantly impacted by a sewer system, or has that changed? So
Correct.
I do think it's a piece of information that we just need to get at. I think this group had looked at this and recommended it. I think when we went back to Wolpert, there was a little change in our
The change
understanding
in the cost, yeah.
pricing. So that's really why it's back to you.
That's why
all.
it's back to you.
You've kind of blessed the concept already, but the dollar amount was
the
a
pricing.
bit different than what we had previously thought.
Yeah. But it's, you know, actually, my take on the original cost was actually a little bit higher because I thought the Lumen Ultra was actually going to be more expensive. And when you wrap it in with the Fluidian testing and the two tests that we can do with the Fluidian, it's actually flat to actually a little bit less than what he had originally quoted to me when we first started talking about it. So-
So do you need a motion? Is that-
Yeah, we need a motion to approve a budget of up to $6,780 for Fluidian and Lumen Ultra testing for water quality. Do I have a,
I'll make a motion to do what Laura just said.
okay, and do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Wonderful. I will, I'll email James tomorrow, Douglas, and I'll make sure he gets in.
Yep,
You
he's
guys
been-
will be in,
yeah, we've
yeah.
been in contact.
We'll be in touch. Yeah. And we will have, just as a, he will have a written report to provide to us. There won't be a big, chemical analysis, but he'll have a written
Summary,
report
yeah.
on what the findings are,
Thank you.
so that it's
In layman's terms.
in layman's.
Right, thank you.
And
Understand.
he's going to put it in English, the King's English. All right, great. So that's that. Yeah, we had yep. Real quickly, I'll do the new business, and then we have a little extra time that we could loop back to the matrix if everybody's willing for me to make a motion to add another 10 minutes or so to the meeting for a little bit more matrix work. How about we go to 10 after 5?
Works for me.
Is that okay
Sure.
with everybody? Okay.
All right.
Do I need to make a motion for
No.
that? Okay, all right. Just real quickly, so we have a table for the farmer's market, and I did just a real simple, ways that people can
I'll hold it.
people can make their yard more eco-friendly. And the big hit was actually the mosquito dunk. And I brought that with me and explained how it works. The bucket of death. And everybody was just like, wow, you're kidding. You can use this to get rid of mosquitoes and not be spraying your yard with all that ugly pesticide stuff? So my big question is, I am going to the SAMC, the South Atlantic Marsh Initiative Workshop meeting next Thursday, which is going to be out at the DNR site at Fort Johnson. And it's from 10 to 3. And the farmer's market, we have to be out at the farmer's market, between like 3 and 3:30 to be at the table. And I wanted to ask if anybody on the committee would be willing to be there and have this and my mosquito dunk and talk to people
When
about
is it?
resilient ways to be eco-friendly in their yard.
What's the date of the farmer's market?
It's next Thursday, which I believe is.
21st.
21st. And the table it's number 18. Here, you want me to put it down now? And it's along 29th Avenue. It's on the 29th Avenue side.
By the playground, kind of behind the playground.
Yeah, so. Actually, she moved the number. It's 26 now. It was 18 last month, so this is 29 here. And I just pulled my car up and then walked to the table and if you, I think Susan even offered to provide a table, a bigger table. I had just a card table, but we could coordinate with Susan about potentially a bigger table. And bring a chair, and you can sit and you can talk about other things that we're doing on the committee too. But I wanted to see if somebody would be willing to volunteer.
I think I have something that afternoon, but I have to
Okay,
check.
all right, because I want to make sure I let Tammy know if we don't have anybody there, because I don't want the table to just be empty. There were a bunch of vendors that didn't show up last month, and it's disconcerting for them. It would be from, and you don't have to stay all the way to the bitter end at 7 o'clock. You could leave at 6:30.
And I'll be out of town.
You'll be out of town, okay,
Yeah, I have a child conflict. I gotta take my son to
okay.
something.
I might be able to do that, Laura, but I was going to nominate Cindy. Is she on mute?
No, I'm not, I'm gonna be in Harrisburg with my son.
Okay.
No, I might be able to do that. I might be able to. I need to get back to you, but I may be
All
able
right,
to do that.
yeah, let me know.
Laura, do you all still have the bins, the
Compost.
Compost, no, we gave all of those away last year, and that's why I came up with this idea for the table.
A little bit unbeknownst to me, Matt got a grant to buy
More?
some more, got notification of award of that grant. I don't know that we can buy them now. I'm not sure if we could have them.
By next week?
Yeah, by next week, but we should be able to.
But maybe the month after?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
So
Yeah.
We'll get those and get those to you.
Okay, yeah. No, that's why I,
Proud of Matt for doing, just in the quiet of night, he's
Yeah.
acquiring a composting bin.
Nice.
okay,
Up to the last hour he was working.
Good for him.
Good old man.
that's great. All right. That would be wonderful.
We should
to
hire
have
him.
all of this plus that for next month. But, all right, I'll let you get back to me on that.
Okay.
And then I can let Tammy know for sure.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so let's go back to the matrix for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, one we can knock off real quick is row 12 on this. Join SASME. We are SASME members, thanks to Laura. So.
And that's why I'm going to the workshop on Thursday.
Yeah, so that can be marked as complete. It's the
Okay.
first one we've been able to complete, which Laura did single-handedly. So thank you for that. All right, so this do not harm one. I was sent kind of the context from Linda Tucker. It's basically like do not harm the beach. So like there's still people smoking on the beach. There's still people digging holes. There's doing innumerable things that they shouldn't be doing. And so it's, how do we increase awareness of how do we increase awareness to the public of what they should and should not do to preserve the beach? Things like walking on the dunes, smoking, digging holes and not, when leaving them unfilled, et cetera, et cetera. And there seems to be a lot of signage, right? Every beach access, there's signage, right?
Yeah, there is definitely signage. I don't know, and Mary, I don't know exactly, don't have the list of do's and don'ts that are included, but there is a sign at every beach access.
There's a,
About
there's
litter
a,
and it's about digging, but
there's a
people-
gap in
people
Wild
still
Dunes,
do it.
though. We have the gap in Wild Dunes. We have some signage in Wild Dunes now. We had none before, but there are still a lot of the condominium properties that have their own beach access do not have any signage.
That's right.
And I see that a lot. There's a lot of visitors that are in those condos doing all those things that you just said, chasing their kids through the dunes, digging the holes, smoking on the beach, all the things that Linda highlighted. We talked about this idea, this good neighbor brochure. I wonder if that doesn't fall under that umbrella, as an idea of how to respect the beach, respect the locals, respect, whatever. There could be some sort of a part of that communication that maybe goes into newspapers and whatnot for residents, but maybe it goes into a packet for short-term runners, that they get a little welcome packet, maybe something like that could include this particular item.
I like, yeah.
Good Neighbor brochure was specifically to renters, correct? Wasn't
Well,
that the?
Well,
wasn't
it could be.
I think the idea was it could be for,
Community.
yeah, but it would be something maybe you would send out less frequently, because you
was-
wouldn't want to get, as a resident, you wouldn't need to get that every week. But if you're a renter that's coming in for 3 days, maybe that's part of your welcome to
I was thinking
Isle of Palms.
that this was,
Yeah, Kiowa had, this was the idea that Kiowa had, and
and it's not specifically tied to vacation.
it's not, it's just a reinforcement or a reminder of all the things. It's sort of it's a really nice way to summarize your ordinances, basically,
Yeah.
and do it in a very friendly and inviting way, in the things that matter most, So I think we could tackle that.
Wild Dunes just did something like that. Paige just came up with something like that. And it's got the high level, but then it has QR codes with a lot of detail and specific issues. I can find that and send that out to this group, but that was on the agenda for Wild Dunes, and they just completed something like that.
And what are they going to do with that, Cindy? Is that going to the renters that come into Wild
I think
Dunes?
it's the website, it's a brochure that goes in to
Okay.
the rentals.
Are they putting
they
it,
have flyers that you can pick up too in various places. So
Yeah.
the thought was to get to people in lots of different ways. So social media, paper flyers, QR codes.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
is the hotel also, is the hotel going to be giving it out to people when they
Yeah.
check in and, yeah?
So
Okay.
Terry said she would have it as kind of a flyer and all of their material, or a sign, in the rooms or the rentals.
Okay,
Very good.
all right.
What's the name of what are they calling the flyer? Just like a information,
Good Neighbor
I almost think it
brochure?
is a good neighbor brochure or a good neighbor communication.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'll find it and send it out to you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
It would be good if we could get like, I don't know what, like Sweetgrass and all the beach company, all those companies do. I wonder if they do something similar, but that would be a good,
Or if they could have it in their offices.
Well, we
when
would
people
have
check
it
in.
distributed to their offices, yeah.
just so that, it'd be great if, once we see that, we could maybe just
Repurpose
get it,
it.
you repurpose it and then say, hey, when people come to check in, can you give them this thing? Because it's good for them to know that they can't smoke on the beach because they get a ticket. And,
What's it's FMV, the organization, what's the guy's name? He was here with the tree, the palm tree planting. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank.
Jimmy
Anyway,
Carroll?
No, it's this new, it's like an association of rental property managers.
Yes,
Fam-
it's a kind of branch of the.
Yeah, FVM or something like.
Family,
Anyway.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Rental.
Right.
Kind of
So I'm
association.
just wondering if we couldn't partner with them, if they're already kind of
family
bringing.
vacation.
Yeah,
rental.
Mel Miles is the
Yeah.
person, I think.
Okay.
Mel
Yeah,
or
I've been
Alex
talking to him
Stone.
every day. He's gonna make a big donation to the turtle team.
Oh, good.
At that next meeting.
Oh, good. But maybe we could have him or her be involved so that we could get their buy-in to be able to distribute this out as part of your standard welcome to your rental property handouts, just like Wild Dunes is doing.
They're putting pictures, stand-up pictures that I bought frames for today in 70 houses on Front Beach. But they wanted it really simple and really appealing to little children. So we gave them something that we suggested that had all these other things on it, but he said, no, it just has to be about lights out. So we weren't successful in getting that group to do it, and since they were donating to us, we wanted to go
Right.
along with what they
Right.
wanted. So we were
Understood.
unsuccessful in getting the other stuff on it, but it will be in 70 houses.
Okay.
All right. So we'll get the Wild Dunes Good Neighbor brochure and review it and see if we can repurpose it and disseminate it.
So that'll be the next steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm taking notes too, and we can I'll forward them out too. We have time for one more?
Yep, let's do one more.
Educate the owners of septic systems and the proper maintenance. You guys can read it. So.
Yes.
What do y'all think? I don't think there's any ongoing education effort for septic tank.
But can that be in the e-newsletter?
Could be. I mean, we could definitely do a kind of, Laura, I think you've got some kind of.
Yeah, I've got
Do's and don'ts about.
Do's and I do. I have do's and don'ts.
Chandra's always
That's on the
looking for
website now.
topics
Yeah,
to be in the e-newsletter.
It'd be good to tie it into the results of the testing we're
Yes,
gonna do, because that's the
yes.
headline.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it, potentially.
If it's
Potentially.
I mean,
actionable.
Yeah.
then you have kind of that, you could go for, depending on the significance of the results, I mean, that could like be in like a news article or something. and you
That's-
could-
So maybe that gets tied to the testing.
to the testing.
You do the testing,
so-
if it comes back, or
So that would be.
probably regardless of the result, it would be a good kind of story or narrative
Yeah.
to tie the two
It
together.
doesn't, even if it comes back, and we aren't seeing an issue, it's still not.
It's still a best
It's still a
practice,
best
yeah.
practice to properly maintain
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I'll mark that as ongoing and just say tie it to the water quality testing publication. If
Okay.
we wanted to do some sort of PR
Yep.
thing.
Madam Chair, if I may, as a member of the task force that helped offer these recommendations, that did not come from our group, but the task force had a specific recommendation to try and develop a catalog of, have on-site, when a transfer of property, have somebody there to
An
instruct the
inspection?
new owner about.
Oh, instruct the owner on where the
septic
septic.
tank, have a what do you call it, a review
Yes.
of, and also to then use that as a way to start keeping track of where the septic tanks are.
Okay.
Oh, so I found the Wild Dunes site. It's called the Wild Dunes Way. And it's on the website. I can forward it to you. And it's, the 3 tenets are be safe, be neighborly, and be kind to nature. And then there are different click-ons. And then if you click on those, there's a lot of detail behind those. So if you just go to wilddunesowners.org and then look up, it's called Wild Dunes Way.
Way, W-A-Y?
Yeah.
Okay,
The Wild Dunes Way,
okay.
which is their term, I guess, for good neighbor. But it's
Okay.
pretty good. It's pretty extensive.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. All right. I think we're good.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to make a note that our next meeting will be Thursday, September the 11th at 4:00 PM. And I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
So, just before we go,
Sure.
for next meeting, we'll have the matrix again. The plan is to have the group that presented
The
today
East-
back. Do we want them back? or
Lou
do you-
Harris, yes,
Okay.
yes, the Islam
And we'll have
Harris.
them we'll have that topic on the agenda.
On the agenda.
Okay,
Okay, perfect.
thank you. And we can give an update on the water testing as well.
Hopefully,
Yeah, thank you.
by then. Okay. So now, do I have a,
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
do I have a second? Seconded? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Record at 5:12.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you all.